I normally never would say that an anime deserves a remake for whatever reason because it takes a lot for an anime to ever deserve a remake in the first place. There's some qualities that it needs in order to be given that title of being given a remake. And the reason why I'm making this video is because I believe there's an anime that definitely deserves a remake, or at least some form of closure when it comes to the story of the series, which, they go more further in depth in the mangas, which I haven't read, but I really do want to read. For an anime to deserve a remake, I feel it would need to have the qualities of being so memorable that you can always go back to it and it's just still intact and very golden. I know there's nothing that could be good as the original anime or even the original property. I mean, such as Avatar: The Last Airbender, you don't see any of the Netflix series or the movie being as good as the original show was. The whole premise of this video is that this anime deserves a remake for a lot of reasons, but ultimately people love this anime despite how old it is, and people still talk about it to this day. People that aren't really anime fans know this anime for being so memorable. They just love the hell out of it. You don't have to be an anime fan to love this anime because it will always be cherished and loved. The anime I am referring to needs no introduction. It is actually the one that's blocked by my microphone. Rosario Vampire there. This anime is legit a classic. It will stay forever loved. And the reason why I feel this anime deserves a remake in the first place is because of how funny it is, how memorable it is. The openings are freaking amazing. It's almost iconic of how the openings start off. And I mean, if you really have watched this anime growing up, like I did, you would know that this anime has such a banger opening, and it's kind of aged, but it's aged like fine wine, really. I love Toka. I love all the characters in the anime of Rosario Vampire. At first, when I watched it as a kid, like when I was 12 or 13, I don't know why I watched such an ecchi anime as a kid, but obviously ecchi, but it was also very funny. I absolutely love the humor that the MC brings to any of the female characters. It's more or less a harem at that point once all of the characters are introduced, and they all have their own individual stories. And I think that if this anime were to get remade, obviously keep all the VAs, because my god, they made it so much better. I significantly remember the dub being very good. I would definitely want the VAs back if they were to remake this anime, and the studio that I really want to run this remake, I know it's kind of nitpicky and stuff, but it's Passione, which is the studio that is making the new Spice of Wolf anime to this day. And the reason why I picked the studio is because they get down the etchiness of things to the point where it feels like it's almost borderline, but it's not. And people love that sort of etchiness that doesn't go into, straight up hentai, but it's like on the cusp of it, but it's still good. You still get that balance of it. I wouldn't have picked a better studio for that reason of me saying that it deserves a remake. You can remake so many of the good scenes, especially when Toka turns into her vampire form, which would be fucking sick to see in such a smooth animation. Not to say the animation of Rosario Vampire is not smooth enough, but it would feel a little bit more modern, like how the Spice of Wolf anime has been with especially Hollow's wolf form, which I absolutely love how they animated that wolf form. Put that into many of the different characters. You have the succubus girl, you have the ice girl right there, and then you also have the witch girl. I completely forgot their names. I am so sorry. The only one I can remember off the top of my head every single time is Mocha. Sorry, I think I might have called her Toka in the beginning. I was thinking of Data Live for some reason. The anime of Rosario Vampire is really significant because it dives into a character such as Mocha that is dealing with two different personalities, and that in of itself is a disorder, which is pretty cool that they fuse that into like being a monster sort of thing, which it's a very good psychological game. And that's more like the reason why I like this anime. They also bring in the moms that are like the mothers of of the main group. I also love the ending where they finally find the dad of Mocha, which is pretty cool. And I hadn't watched the second season until like a few years later when I actually got the DVD. I never watched it, but when I did, it was like, whoa, so trippy. I would say this anime really needs a remake. It stands on its own 2 feet, and for that reason, it definitely deserves it. More than a lot of anime to this day. I know, like, I would definitely want a Toradora remake for the life of me, but I don't think that would ever happen in my lifetime. And if it does, man, I proved myself wrong, didn't I? Rosario Vampire, I love the fighting scenes. I also love the world that it's in. I like that it's not all just comedy, but that there is a bit of romance, especially with Mocha being at the center of it all. And especially if they are going to remake this anime, they got to get the writing right. At least put some of the manga story into this anime, because I know there's a lot more that happens in the manga that's never shown in the anime. And a lot of manga fans of this series can tell to prove that. So I don't understand why you wouldn't want to put some of the original story into the anime. Spice and Wolf had this issue, especially with its original series, the original anime series. It did not put a lot of light novel story into the actual anime story, which I found to be very like, what? When I was first reading the light novel of Spice and Wolf, I realized that damn, they didn't even include the village where Hollow actually conjures wheat from her bare hand. And that's something that does happen in the light novels. You never see it in the original anime. I hope they bring that into fruition with the new anime. I definitely see them going into that direction because they're including characters of the light novels. But going back to it, you want the original story a part of the anime, especially if it's, you know, obviously animated. Imagine just seeing some of the stories that you see in the books you read in a theatrical form. That would be so freaking cool. And get the writing right, obviously. You know, you want to balance things out. You definitely want to balance things out, especially if you are trying to make this story, this anime remake really good. The biggest debate that I feel with an anime fan would be that No Game No Life deserves a remake. I know that sounds freaking abysmal, but yes, it definitely would deserve a remake, especially if you are releasing more story after season 1. People say, make No Game No Life season 2, but you don't realize that the anime is a little bit aged at this point, so making just a complete and utter remake and also enhancing the story, you know, going further into it would be very good for the series as a whole. But obviously, who would want to pick up that anime? Because even the original author has wanted this anime to be produced its second season already at this point, but just hasn't. Going back to Rosario Vampire, make it a complete and utter remake, but make the openings and endings very good, because my god, I don't remember the names of the anime openings and endings, but they were really good. You know, it's very groovy, each one is. If you can keep something like that, I'm pretty sure it's certain, like, when it comes to anime and remakes, studios don't just get the property and half-ass it like nothing, like how Netflix does. They treat these series with such care that they know for a fact that this anime means a lot to many people. So that's why I'm saying make a remake. Another remake that would be awesome, Elfen Lied. That deserves a remake. So does Mirai Nikki. Can you just imagine like your older anime being remade at this current day and age? Like, there's been such a jump in animation for anime that many anime that were made in the past, if they were made today, they would look freaking beautiful. But I would like to see where things go with remakes in anime, because I know they have recently been doing a few bit of remakes here and there, especially with the new Spice and Wolf, and you know, that was a genuine surprise to everyone, because that series is, I would say, medium underrated, because after the first one aired, a lot of people just, you know, fell out of the series because it doesn't really go into the light novel story that much, which, you know, I can understand why you would not want to read. Not many people are readers to this day, but I love to read. Definitely let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions. Would you want to see a Rosario Vampire remake? I have been Noble Oath. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment down below your guys' thoughts and opinions. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care and peace.